The National Electrical Code, or NEC, provides specific guidelines for electrical installations, including the hard wiring of window units and air handlers. These guidelines are crucial for ensuring safety and preventing electrical hazards, such as overloading and potential meltdowns. When dealing with window units, refer to NEC Section 440.22 Cone. This section addresses the requirements for the disconnecting means and branch circuit overcurrent protection for hermetic refrigerant motor compressors. Hermetic refrigerant motor compressors are commonly found in window air conditioning units. Understanding this section is vital for proper installation. It ensures that the window unit is correctly connected to the electrical system with appropriate protection against overcurrent conditions. The code specifies that the branch circuit selection current shall be used to determine the ampacity of conductors or amp ratings of switches, fuses, or circuit breakers. When the equipment is marked with the minimum circuit ampacity, the circuit conductors must have an ampacity equal to or greater than this value. For air handlers, NEC Section 440.32 Cone provides relevant guidance. This section pertains to the disconnecting means and branch circuit overcurrent protection for air conditioning and refrigeration equipment. Similar to window units, air handlers require proper protection and a suitable disconnecting means to ensure safety and prevent electrical problems. This section emphasizes the importance of selecting the correct overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers or fuses, to protect the air handler's motor and associated components. It also mandates the installation of a readily accessible disconnecting means, allowing for easy isolation of the air handler from the electrical supply during maintenance or emergencies. Both sections 440.22 Cone and 440.32 Cone highlight the significance of continuous load considerations. A continuous load is defined as a load where the maximum current is expected to continue for 3 hours or more. When dealing with continuous loads, the NEC requires that the branch circuit overcurrent device and conductors be rated for at least 125% of the continuous load. This is to prevent overheating and potential fire hazards due to prolonged high current draw. In practical terms, this means that if a window unit or air handler draws a continuous load of 10 amps, the circuit breaker or fuse protecting the circuit must be rated for at least 12.5 amps. Similarly, the conductors supplying the load must have an ampacity of at least 12.5 amps. It is important to consult the equipment's nameplate for the rated current draw and determine whether the load is considered continuous. The NEC specifies requirements for conductor sizing based on ampacity. The ampacity of a conductor is its current carrying capacity expressed in amps. The NEC provides tables, such as Table 310.15b16, that list the allowable ampacities of insulated conductors based on their size, insulation type, and installation conditions. When selecting conductors for window units and air handlers, it is essential to choose conductors with an ampacity that is equal to or greater than the calculated load current, taking into account the 125% requirement for continuous loads. For example, if the calculated load current is 12.5 amps, you would need to select a conductor with an ampacity of at least 12.5 amps. Refer to the NEC table to determine the appropriate conductor size based on its insulation type and installation method. The NEC also addresses the requirements for overcurrent protection devices, such as circuit breakers and fuses. These devices are designed to protect electrical circuits and equipment from overcurrent conditions such as short circuits and overloads. When selecting overcurrent protection devices for window units and air handlers, it is crucial to choose devices with an amp rating that is appropriate for the circuit and the equipment being protected. The amp rating of the overcurrent protection device should be equal to or less than the ampacity of the conductors and the maximum current rating of the equipment. The NEC provides guidance on selecting the appropriate overcurrent protection devices based on the type of equipment and the characteristics of the electrical circuit. For example, for motor circuits, the NEC allows for higher overcurrent protection ratings to accommodate the motor's inrush current during startup. However, it is essential to ensure that the overcurrent protection device is still capable of protecting the circuit and equipment from sustained overloads and short circuits. In addition to conductor sizing and overcurrent protection, the NEC also addresses the requirements for grounding and bonding of electrical equipment. Grounding is the process of connecting electrical equipment to the earth, providing a low impedance path for fault current to flow back to the source. Bonding is the process of connecting metal parts of electrical equipment together to create an electrically conductive path. Grounding and bonding are essential for safety, as they help to prevent electric shock hazards and ensure that overcurrent protection devices operate properly in the event of a fault. The NEC specifies the requirements for grounding and bonding of window units and air handlers, including the size and type of grounding conductors, the methods for connecting grounding conductors to equipment, and the requirements for bonding metal parts. It is crucial to follow these requirements carefully to ensure that the electrical system is properly grounded and bonded, providing a safe and reliable electrical installation. Furthermore, the NEC provides guidelines for the installation of disconnecting means for window units and air handlers. A disconnecting means is a switch or circuit breaker that can be used to isolate the equipment from the electrical supply. The NEC requires that a readily accessible disconnecting means be installed within sight of the equipment, allowing for easy isolation of the equipment during maintenance or emergencies. The disconnecting means must be rated for the voltage and current requirements of the equipment and must be capable of interrupting the maximum fault current that could occur at the equipment location. The disconnecting means must also be clearly labeled to indicate its purpose and the equipment it serves. The NEC also addresses the requirements for wiring methods for window units and air handlers. Wiring methods refer to the types of cables and raceways that are permitted to be used for electrical installations. The NEC specifies the allowable wiring methods based on the location of the installation, the environmental conditions, and the type of equipment being served. For example, in damp or wet locations, the NEC requires the use of wiring methods that are suitable for those conditions, such as liquid-tight flexible metal conduit or non-metallic conduit. The NEC also specifies the requirements for supporting and securing wiring methods, ensuring that they are properly installed and protected from damage. It is crucial to select the appropriate wiring methods for window units and air handlers based on the specific installation conditions and to follow the NEC requirements for installation and support. In addition to the specific requirements for window units and air handlers, the NEC also contains general requirements for electrical installations that apply to all types of equipment. These general requirements cover topics such as conductor identification, box fill calculations, and the use of approved materials and equipment. It is important to be familiar with these general requirements, as they provide the foundation for safe and reliable electrical installations. For example, the NEC requires that all conductors be properly identified using color coding or other means, making it easier to trace circuits and prevent accidental connections. The NEC also provides guidelines for calculating the maximum number of conductors that can be installed in an electrical box, preventing overcrowding and potential overheating. The NEC also requires that all electrical materials and equipment be approved by a recognized testing laboratory, such as underwriters' laboratories or electrical testing laboratories, ensuring that they meet safety standards and performance requirements. In addition to the NEC, local electrical codes and regulations may also apply to the installation of window units and air handlers. Local codes may have additional requirements or may amend the NEC requirements to address specific local conditions or concerns. It is important to check with the local electrical inspection authority to determine the applicable local codes and regulations before starting any electrical work. The local electrical inspection authority can also provide guidance on interpreting and applying the NEC and local codes. They can also conduct inspections to ensure that electrical installations comply with the applicable codes and regulations. Failing to comply with the NEC and local codes can result in fines, penalties, and a rejection of the electrical installation. Therefore, it is crucial to be familiar with the applicable codes and regulations and to follow them carefully when installing window units and air handlers. Moreover, it is always recommended to hire a qualified and licensed electrician to perform electrical work. A qualified electrician has the knowledge, skills, and experience to perform electrical installations safely and in accordance with the applicable codes and regulations. They can also provide guidance on selecting the appropriate materials and equipment and can troubleshoot any electrical problems that may arise. Hiring a qualified electrician can help to ensure that the electrical installation is done correctly and safely, protecting you and your property from electrical hazards. In conclusion, the NEC provides specific guidelines for the hard wiring of window units and air handlers, as outlined in sections 440.22 Cone and 440.32 Cone. These guidelines address conductor sizing, overcurrent protection, grounding and bonding, disconnecting means, and wiring method. It is crucial to follow these guidelines carefully to ensure safety and prevent electrical hazards. Additionally, it is important to be familiar with the general requirements of the NEC and any applicable local codes and regulations. Hiring a qualified and licensed electrician is always recommended to ensure that electrical work is performed safely and in accordance with the applicable codes and regulations. By following these guidelines and recommendations, you can ensure that your window units and air handlers are properly installed and protected, providing safe and reliable operation.